The challenge we undertook is about the CRM process and tools used to capture, approve, and visualize face-to-face customer experience feedback. In response to the challenge, we created a Power App to prepare meeting notes and collect face-to-face feedback, a Power Automate flow that is triggered from within the Power App to send feedback to the client for approval, and 2 dashboards, one at a project level and one at a business level, to visualize and inform staff on customer relations. The project level is so project teams can see areas for improvement, trends between pre-construction and phase 1 and 2 of project delivery. The business level gives more of an overview of client satisfaction over time and projects, RAG ratings, key KPIs, and a list of top and worst 5 projects. We created a team made up of Jack, Ben, Lawrence, Manuela, Imogen, and Chris.
Very start, the customer sitting down to have a discussion about their current experience of the project. This is then captured in the customer experience questionnaire spreadsheet. The spreadsheet takes an Excel format. This is then sent to the customer once concluded by the Voltson personnel so that they can comment and give their either acceptance or reject. Once this is accepted, it is stored centrally on a Voltson Excel spreadsheet, which is then reported on by a Power BI report in a prescriptive manner.
We created a data model and split the areas into phases. The team then split into 3 groups to tackle each phase. Phase 1 would involve the capture and edit of information using the form via Power Apps. Phase 2 would involve the creation of an auto-approval process using Power Automate. Phase 3 would involve creating new reports with more insight using Power BI. And Phase 4 would be future developments and what we would like to have done if we were given more time.
We created a Power App made up of 5 pages. Firstly, a home page aimed at staff to either create new customer feedback or the ability to edit customer feedback. This allows the user to add notes before the customer experience meeting. As you can see here, each of these has 3 separate options for the difference in construction stage questionnaires. For this proof of concept, we have done this for the pre-construction questionnaire only, but the template is easily replicable for stage 1 and 2. Once a new response has been filled out with notes in, it can be saved to the SharePoint list. These can then be seen and edited during the customer experience meeting, and notes and scores can be taken using the edit response. Once this has been filled out, it can either be saved so we can go back to it and edit it, or can be sent to the customer for approval using the Send for Approval button. This starts phase 2 of our response.
Once we submit the form for approval, a Power Automate flow sends an email with all the information from the form to the customer so that they can approve or reject it. If approved, the SharePoint list item containing the form will be updated to show this, and if rejected, we'll be notified so that we can go back to the customer, understand why the form was declined, and resubmit the form. This should save us a lot of time since we've automated a previously manual approval process.
The purpose of this dashboard is to understand our relationship with the client. The feedback from the client is broken up into these 9 sections with red, amber, and green indicating how we performed. If you are coming new to a project at the stage, it is useful to understand how we performed the previous stages and how our customer view us. For example, there are 3 criteria where our performance decreased from pre-construction to stage 1. Therefore, the stage 2 teams knows what areas to focus on. Looking at a specific stage, we can see the average project performance is lower than the business performance baseline, with a low customer satisfaction of 6. We can also see that there are 4 high-risk areas, and if we want to understand why, then we can hover over the criteria and see the customer feedback.
This is an overview to understand customer satisfaction across all the different projects that exist in each of the business units. The map in the bottom left shows where the location of the different business units are, where the size of the dot represents the average customer satisfaction. We can delve further into the business unit by looking at customer satisfaction at a project level. At the top here, you can see the top 5 best performing projects, the worst 5 performing projects, and also the worst 5 performing criteria areas for each project too. We can also look at a particular client of interest and see the performance of each of the projects for that particular client. We can look at a particular project and also understand what the worst performing criteria is for that project, in addition to the overall customer satisfaction, where the color changes dependent on the performance value.
So going forward, phase 4 of this would be further development. So complete the remaining forms and link to the data model. Add the scoring descriptions to the Power App. Add client-specific data visualizations and use Sentiment AI to categorize positive or negative written feedback. So the benefits of the phased works. So phase 1, the digital data capture means that there's less manual entry, which reduces human error and improves data quality. The data is now stored centrally on a SharePoint list, increasing security and accessibility. In phase 2, the approval process is automated, which reduces the need for chase emails for approval. Phase 3, the data is now visualized at both project and a business level, providing feedback to different levels of project delivery about the customer relationship, areas for improvement, and trends over time and project delivery. What impact did the quality, format, volume of the data impact the way that we approached the challenge? So data was anonymized to the point where it's difficult to spot trends from customers in the data visualizations aspect of this challenge. To overcome this, we edited the data to reduce the number of clients and provide more relevant and applicable data that would be more representative of actual data. Additionally, we found that the data was in the wrong format to be applicable in the Power App, and therefore we pivoted the table to be able to capture this data in an efficient data model. We also included data validation in the capture process as well as the approval process to close out the records.
Question 2. How did you ensure the tools developed fitted in the existing process to ensure easy adoption? We haven't changed the process, only introduced the use of tools to make the process more efficient, for example, using an automated process flow to minimize user input. Additionally, we have replaced the spreadsheet with a Power App and made it accessible by having a user-friendly UI.
How did the requirements for the feedback report to show written comments as well as easy to understand representation inform the way that we approach the data visualization? We thought the easiest way to do this was to create an easy visual representation of the data with tooltips that allowed you to access the in-depth written comments when you hovered over them.